Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever the hell you're listening to this. You're listening to Fat Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports, Episode 9, the Sports Pod with Dad Bods. This is JackKnife. Alongside me is the Zach Danielz. Zach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Taking whatever curveball life throws at you and just trying to get through it, But we're here. Let's talk a little sports. It's the way to get away from all your problems.
Yeah, we're back at it. We had a little half hiatus, and we didn't record last week, but it's good for us to get going again. And before we get going, we do want to offer a couple shout outs. The first one going to our good friend, professional wrestler Jay Ritchie. If you don't remember him, simply go back to that technical fiasco that was our NFL draft party. Jeez, we were not prepared for that. But yeah, Jay Ritchie was one of our guests that night, and he made his professional wrestling debut last night. Zach, if I'm not mistaken, you were there. How was it?
No, it wasn't last night.
Oh, it's not last night. When is it then?
No, it was I don't remember. He made a debut technically, but he was on a small show and he probably was in a battle royale. All I know is that whatever match he was in recently, like it was probably last weekend, he got busted in the nose pretty good and was bleeding pretty hard. So congrats. Welcome to the business, Jay.
Absolutely. ECW. And another that's one shout out. Our second shout out goes to my good friend Mark Adams. I was with him on Friday night. The Clippers beat the Jazz Game 7. Next thing I know, he's going absolutely ape shit. Turns out he bet the money line on the Clippers this game, wagered $6,250, and won $13,625. I don't know the math off the top of my head to subtract the two, but yeah, he profited pretty well off of that. So Mark, good for you, buddy.
Yeah, dude, you sent that to the group chat, and honestly, that's one of those bets that it's got to feel good when you win that one. If you lose though, it's got to be a heartbreaker. I mean, like, this is the reason why I do penny bets and not like life savings type shit. I'd rather put that in the stocks or something.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, let's get on with the show. Le'Veon Bell made news this week. He said, "I will never play for Andy Reid again." He took a dump on the legendary NFL coach, former Super Bowl champion, with his own, coaching tree. Zach, you're a big Eagles guy, big Andy Reid guy, I should say. Any thoughts on that?
I'm like, I haven't gone through this article just yet. I really do want to figure out why he said this. But I mean, yeah, if you don't want to win, then sure, you could be a fucking loser, Le'Veon. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like the dude has been winning so much in his career. Yes, the Eagles did not win a Super Bowl under Andy Reid. They did go to 4 NFC championships, though, and they made it to 1 Super Bowl. They were constantly in the playoffs. They were always, just in general, the Eagles were a poverty franchise before Andy Reid became the head coach. They were practically they were middle of the road, if anything. They had some years with Randall Cunningham when he was the quarterback, but until I was born and Andy Reid became the coach, that's when we started winning. That's when we became relevant, and that's when we became a competitor, almost year in, year out kind of deal. He did overstay his welcome, I guess you could say. But I don't know. Didn't the dude win a ring with Andy Reid? Didn't he win his ring with Andy Reid? No, Le'Veon Bell wasn't in it.
No.
Le'Veon,
he was still a Jet. If I'm not mistaken, he was still a Jet. And then, this season, I think they cut. Yeah, this season, the Jets cut Le'Veon Bell. Then he went to the Chiefs. Yeah, because I remember he was playing for the Chiefs against the Jets. And I was expecting him to absolutely go off on the Jets, but he hasn't, because, let's face it, I don't think his career really recovered since he held out that entire year in Pittsburgh. So, I guess we could say maybe he was a product of that great Steelers offensive line, maybe? Or do we want to go that far?
Yeah, I just think that year off he took completely fucked him up. I don't know how you just take a year off from a sport that you were at that professional level and just think, what was he doing? Like producing a rap album or
Yeah,
some
he had
shit?
a rap album.
Like, how do you
Urinating
go
shitty.
from being one of the best running backs in the league?
Yeah, urinating
Yeah,
shitty, like
yeah, it was,
shat all over it, if I'm not mistaken.
dude. It was so goofy the way he handled all that, and then he comes back, he goes to the Jets, and it's like, I remember thinking it was a good thing for the Jets, and he didn't seem like a toxic asshole at the
Right.
time, but like, it's the Jets. Like, they just weren't ready for, like, they weren't the team. Like, adding a running back, it only proved that adding a running back, a solid running back, does not complete your team.
No.
That the running back has become, it's not like dead or anything. Running backs are important. The thing is, it's the Eagles won their Super Bowl with a committee of running backs. Like, a committee has become a more common thing in the NFL now, where, like, you want at least two or three guys. You need at least two. You need two no matter what. But, like, the third guy, if you have a third guy, then you have a rotation of running backs and they all have specialized in something different. That's great. Le'Veon Bell was like, didn't he get, like, he got so many touches that year, whether it was catches and runs, like, it just felt like, and I think he was also run into the ground when he was in Pittsburgh, like, and it just got worse in New York, and he goes to the Chiefs. He really wasn't a non-factor for him.
Yeah, I remember when the Jets got him, I was thinking it was either going to be amazing or a complete dumpster fire, no in between. And for the most part, I was wrong. He was kind of like an in between. Like, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't exactly the player like he was hyped up to be. And
Yeah.
management went downhill, and then eventually he's like, okay, I'm out of here. I remember, like, one of his videos, like, he tried to make it work in New York, but you know what? It just wasn't going to work, especially with Adam Gase as head coach. So.
No, it never works with Adam Gase. I mean, just like, the dude was amazing. I just don't know how you take a year off and come back perfectly fine. I mean, I guess Antonio Brown did that, right? So maybe it can be done. Antonio Brown's a freaking nature athlete, though. Not saying Le'Veon Bell isn't,
Oh,
but, like,
Le'Veon Bell could destroy
I don't
any of
know.
us, but
Yeah, well, of course, it's just called the fat unathletic nerds talking sports. Like, I mean, it's pretty easy to do that, but I don't know. As a running back, and he was drilled into the ground with Pittsburgh. He had a lot of touches in Pittsburgh, and then he took a year off, and you'd think, like, he'd be okay, but came back, went to the Jets. I mean, I don't know. It didn't. I was like, this is not the guy that the Jets need. They needed I don't even think Sam Darnold was the problem. I think they just needed everything else and a coach. Like, it was insane. Like, I think Darnold, we've said in the past, I think Darnold's going to do well in Carolina, but they just didn't. It wasn't the running back that was the problem. It was practically everything that was the problem. It was just a compilation of things. So I don't know why. I don't. Back to what we were saying with Andy Reid, though, not wanting to play for Andy Reid ever again.
Reid did respond, but go on.
Oh man, okay. Let me finish that then. I don't know. If you don't want to win, dude, then don't play for the Chiefs, because it looks like the Chiefs. I think Andy Reid's gonna stick with the Chiefs until, like, he fucking croaks. Because why would you leave that? You have everything there.
He's
But,
got
what did
Patrick
Andy-
Mahomes. He's pretty much set.
What did Andy Reid say though? What was his response?
It was basically, okay, I'm bringing it. I got it right here on my computer screen. I'll read it to you. Listen, I really enjoyed my time with him here. I appreciated the way he handled things and did his business. He had some productive downs for us. I'm pulling for him in the future. I mean, that's how I roll. People say things, they say things. I move on. I wish him the best. So
Yeah,
he
man.
basically was just like, whatever.
He got his ring. He wins. He knows what works. I it's like funny. I feel like there's a lot of people who also shit on Andy Reid because of the things that, like, happened to his son. Which we won't go too far into, but kind of put a dark cloud over the Chiefs for that Super Bowl against the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
He's always given people second chances. He's not like he doesn't seem like an asshole. Like he brought Michael Vick in. I I was so I was like my reaction was like, "Oh my god, like no, we're going to be a lightning rod of controversy." He brought Michael Vick back and hey, Michael Vick those couple of years with the Eagles until he fizzled out, you know, he was great and he had that Miracle at the Meadowlands 2 game. I mean, no Giants fan. I'll never let a Giants fan forget that cuz that was one of the best moments of my life.
I'm actually in a I'm actually in my future father-in-law's man cave. He's got like some giant stuff on the wall right now.
Yeah, he should get the one of Deshaun Jackson holding the ball out, running down the fucking sideline. Oh my god, dude, Matt Dodge, I love you.
Jeez. Just putting it out of bounds. What was he thinking?
Dude.
One of the few times that was one of the few times I was like, man, I am glad I'm a Jet fan right now.
Yeah.
That
was embarrassing.
The Giants still won the Super Bowl that year, though, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Was that the year they won the Super Bowl? That's even funnier.
I want to say yes.
This is the reason, though. This is the reason I never respect the Giants because, like, no, like for the past decade, we have just dunked on them. Yeah, no, I just ever since, like the past decade, it's just been a joke whenever we play them because, like. They always give us a fight, but then they somehow always lose it. Like I don't know how. Like, how about this? You want to know how ridiculous and pathetic it is? Everyone picking on like Carson Wentz and all this stuff, you know, and he left Philly in an unceremonious fashion. His last win as an Eagle was against the Giants.
Yeah. By the way, I just googled it. The Miracle at the Meadowlands was the year before the Giants won the Super Bowl. So. This is when the the second year the Jets went to the AFC Championship game.
It just sickens me when they won those Super. Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it.
But yeah, well, anyway, let's move on from the gridiron to the hardwood. The Brooklyn Nets failed. My NBA Finals prediction is officially dead. I mean, Zach, you said they fail at some point. I mean, the team I picked to go to the West, you know. They're 2 games away, and they didn't have one of their best players, Chris Paul. Like, the Suns are pretty damn close to going to the NBA Finals. Now, under the 76ers, I mean, how are you hanging in there after what happened?
It was embarrassing. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, like, you had 2 games where you're up by 15 plus points, one by 24 or something like that, and you blow it. Honestly, dude, the blame can be passed around, but it's like 1A and 1B for me are Doc Rivers and Ben Simmons. Doc Rivers now just adds to his lengthy resume of blown series in the playoffs, blown, you know, clinching the accolades the negative accolades he has gathered in the past decade is unreal. It's unreal. And
just
Ben
see that
Simmons,
2008
dude,
championship ring he got off of the big 3, and you know, that's good enough for us.
I guess, like, I don't know. There's something about his coaching style. Some of the things I watched, the thing that I hate the most is he loves putting in like a whole bench squad. Like he'll put all 5 bench players out there, and in the fourth game, in game 4, the first big collapse loss, They had all 5 bench players out there, and the Atlanta Hawks went on like a 15-2 run. And what's worse is it was like a 12-2 run. They took a timeout. Doc talked his team up, you know, and then sent the same bench players back out there just to miss a shot and then let like someone from the Hawks shoot a 3. And all momentum had just gone to Atlanta. Joel Embiid playing on a torn meniscus. Was out of his mind, but still came up a little short in the fourth quarter. You know, I'm not gonna take away from him. He did have his problems, but also like I will defend him. I will defend him on this whole series. He played amazing. He averaged 31 and 13. Tobias Harris fell short. All the bench players weren't doing well. Doc had some stupid mistakes, and Ben Simmons is the most infuriating player on planet Earth right now. Dude, just shoot the fucking ball. Like, just shoot the fucking ball. How do you tell me, Jack? Did you see the clip where he got the ball underneath the basket,
Yes,
no
and he
one
passed
near
it.
him? Like, he's 6'10". He's 6'10". He could jump 5 inches off the fucking ground, reach up and slam it in.
Yeah, I mean, I
What?
think Magic Johnson was on, First Take today. He was on something with someone. Ben Simmons not a confident player if you're doing that, and Magic Johnson was like, "Yeah, you gotta trade him." You know what it reminds me of? Like this going to the ice. It reminds me of Mitch Marner. Like Ben Simmons is some kind of NBA equivalent to Mitch Marner. It's like, all right, superstar, but come playoff time, especially this year, just couldn't get the job done, and got mental. So
Well, like, does Mitch Marner? What's his reputation? Like, so he's a regular season player, and then he's
well,
just in the
more
playoffs.
more so this postseason, he made some like stupid penalties, especially like delay of game penalties, and like that really fucked up his confidence, and that
Well,
led to the
dude,
Leafs collapsing.
Ben has been. It's the same thing for the past couple years. He had a good series against the Wizards, but I don't know what the hell happened against the Hawks. Like, he just like I defended him for the assists, the rebounds, the defense. He's a phenomenal defensive player. It was honestly bullshit that Rudy Gobert ran away with the defensive player of the year. I saw the voting for that. It was ridiculous. Like, I think he blew Simmons out by like 50 plus votes. It was unreal. Like, there was no reason it should have been that far. But dude, shoot the ball. How are you the point guard and you don't shoot the ball? Like, I see all these videos in the off season of you shooting the ball. Every off season, he does these like gym videos where he's shooting, and it's like, do it in a game. The reaction the crowd has, like the Philly crowd has when he makes a shot from like outside the paint, is phenomenal. Like, they blow up. He made a three, I think, a couple years ago, his first career three.
It was
Everyone
against
lost
the
their
Knicks.
fucking mind.
It was against the Knicks.
I don't even know if that was his first one. The point is, he's made like two or three, and every time it's happened, the crowd goes berserk. And dude, shoot the ball. Just shoot the ball. Just shoot the ball. I don't know, but yeah. And then real quick on the Nets, because I knew all you guys are picking the Nets. I was watching the NBA playoffs closely, and I'm just sitting here. I've watched the NBA closely this year, in general, and I just thought it was overhyped. It was kind of like how everyone was just thinking, oh, the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to go right to the Super Bowl. They're going to repeat. No, it's like, it's almost like when I hear someone get overhyped, I just start thinking it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And sure enough, it didn't. And you know what's funny? I did those prediction videos. I look like such a douchebag in all of them now, because of the Nets, because of the Sixers, the Nuggets. I thought they would have a good series. They got swept in the second round. Like, and after the Sixers lost in Game 7 and the Nets lost in Game 7, I'm done. I'm done with predictions now. I'll figure something else out to talk about.
Which one of the Nets superstars was out that game? I think it was Kyrie, right? For that Game 7?
Kyrie was out, but James Harden was just a decoy. Like, he was so bad in one of the games that I watched. I think it was Game 5 when he came back. He just looks so bad. But the thing is, when James Harden's on the floor, you have to defend James Harden. So
Yeah, of course. You can't let a guy like that, sneak by you. But yeah, maybe next year the Nets need one more superstar to get the job done. They just need one more superstar.
They just needed Kyrie back in. They have like four now.
That's a joke going way over your head.
Oh, fuck a joke, man. Fuck the Nets. Fuck Kyrie Irving. Honestly, just fuck the Nets. It's good to have a rival.
Absolutely. But now let's head on over to baseball. Big news, came out of the MLB past few days. Now they're really cracking down on checking pitchers for foreign substances. And when I say they're cracking down, I mean they're really cracking down. It seems like every half inning, pitcher has to hand an umpire his hat, his glove, make sure there's nothing weird with it, and it's gotten comical at this point. Max Scherzer was fuming. He almost took off his pants. I forget some other guy. I think it was a guy in the A's. I'm gonna feel stupid.
Yeah.
I forget what team it was, but yeah, the guy one up Max Scherzer actually took his pants off. Shohei Ohtani was just like, here, touch my hair, blah blah blah. Or I think Shohei Ohtani was like, touch my hair, but Max Scherzer did that too. But yeah, Zach, I'll let you start with this one. You go ahead.
Oh, on this one, I mean, what a stupid rule change. Mid-season? I don't know. And what they're doing to stop it, like, this is ridiculous. I fucking hate Rob Manfred so much. Like,
it's like he wants us to at this point.
I don't get it, man. Like, all these changes to the sport, and it's like, what is this gonna stop? Like, what is this gonna stop? And then there was Tyler Glasnow. He was explaining how this could actually injure guys because they're using certain muscles more than they would have to or something. I don't know what the validity of that is. Sounds a little hokey to me, but I don't know.
Like, pitchers can't even use sunscreen now, apparently.
They can't use and I remembered there was an interview. There's a great interview by Trevor Bauer, as if there's bad interviews by Trevor Bauer. They asked him, was like, what do you think about the new rule change? And apparently he like rubbed his hand on rosin. He had a little sweat, and then he took a baseball and he was holding it like Spider-Man, like it was hanging off of his hand. And he was just like, that's just sweat and rosin. That's just gonna make that happen. I don't know what you want to do about it. They give me rosin, so I don't know. And Joe Girardi, I mean, if you want me to talk about the Phillies for just a second, Joe Girardi looking like a real fucking bum. Oh, dude, he was the one that was calling for Scherzer to like check him because he had a really good inning. In general, I mean, like, Girardi has just been pissing me off. He was getting shouted at by the Nats, and he got up and he got fired up, and the only person who really did anything was like psyched to have like Joe Girardi, but now I'm just coming to realize as of right now he's been a bum general manager. I mean, like, some of the worst bullpen moves I've seen. He double switches. Like, it's like you took him out of the American League where all he had to do was right in for the Yankees, some stacked lineup with a designated hitter, and then just let him fly, you know? And now it's just starting to look like he sucks. Like, really. Just like, he puts a guy named David Hale, who, Jack, if you don't know, David Hale is garbage. He's a garbage bullpen arm. He always puts David Hale in when the bases are loaded. He's given up like 3 grand slams this year. What are you doing?
I mean, he gets up 3 grand slams. The Yankees turn 3 double plays in one season. I can't believe I just thought about that right now. But yeah, sounds like, don't get me wrong. Me personally, I'd still want Girardi to come back as the manager of the Yankees. But, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But, it looks like the Yankees are finally starting to hit. But yeah, anyway, here's my thoughts on the whole contraband
sticky tack shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, contraband.
Yeah. Well, it's ironic how baseball keeps changing the rules, speed up the game. You have the stupid, runner to start on second in extra innings, pitchers have to face 3 guys, blah, 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 blah. And then they bring in this rule, like, you slow the game down so much, like, you basically turned umpires into TSA agents, and it's like a TSA checkpoint. This is probably the stupidest thing to slow down the game since replay. And you know what? I want replay to exist if it's done right. But this is just repeatedly holding up the game for worse. At least if you challenge wrong on the replay, you lose it, and you only get one more after that. And whether you get it right or wrong, you're done. But this, it's like, okay, next inning, checking for substances. Okay, next inning, checking for substances. Next inning, checking for substances. Like, what the hell is going on? Manfred, you're ruining this game we love to appeal to people that aren't going to watch us to begin with. Jeez. I know, call me a boomer. I sound like a freaking boomer right now. Go back to the old ways. But you know what? Bring back old baseball.
Right. And you know what's even funnier though? It's like the reason also Girardi looks like a bum to me. You know, I haven't seen it. I've seen clips of it happening around the league, but the reason it was so dumb for Girardi, I think it was the second time that Scherzer was getting checked in like the same inning, and also Girardi's like the rule was made like 2 days before that happened.
And he milked
the living shit out of it. Do you really think Max Scherzer? Well, it's like, do you think Max Scherzer is going to have shit on him when clearly they're doing checks? What kind of dumb, like, how fucking stupid do you think these pitchers are now? Like, you made the rule, you're saying you're gonna check. These guys are clearly getting checked out. You think they're gonna have something on them? Just cut the nonsense, honestly. Like, I don't even understand why it was a big fucking deal anyway. Like, really, these rule changes are just so pointless to me. Pointless to me. They have no real the replay actually has an effect on the game, and they've been doing them wrong. I haven't heard any egregious errors recently. But you know, the start of the season, we were all talking about it. What the hell was going on with replay? But at least that affects the game. This is just a competitive advantage. I know steroids aren't natural, but like it's just spider tack. I mean, the baseball, I saw a clip, I forget what team it was. The pitcher went up to bat and he walked up to the umpire after he had an at bat, because he doesn't bat with his gloves. I think it was Joe Musgrove. For the Padres. He walks up to the umpires and he's like, "Say thing, because there's pine tar on the bat. That is sticky. Why are the batters allowed to have pine tar, but the pitchers can't have spider?" Like, dude, there's no fucking consistency. There's none. These rules are stupid.
George Brett's probably looking at all this, laughing his ass off. But yeah, maybe Joe Girardi thought, Max Scherzer would be stupid enough to do that, due to the fact that he was the Yankees manager when Pineda got caught, after, having something, when he had all that stuff on his hand that one start against the Red Sox, and then the next start against the Red Sox, he had the thing on his neck. He was like, yeah, you were caught red-handed. And he was like, if Pineda was stupid enough to do that, maybe Scherzer was stupid enough to do that. But clearly not the case, especially if it's, like, blown up the way it has, like, with this, this rule change and whatnot. Scherzer, Garrett Cole, like, top pitchers are going to look at that and be like, yeah, I'm going to stay away from that because I know I'll get caught now.
Yeah. Garrett Cole had the worst answer to when they were like, "Do you think this is going to affect you?" He's like, I don't know.
I mean,
like, it was the worst.
He did have a bad answer. He did shut up Josh Donaldson, like, the day or so after Donaldson made those comments. It was, about him and his exit rate or whatever the hell it was. And Donaldson had on, like, that, something to protect his ribs in case he got beamed. But, Garrett Cole just, like, struck him out a couple times. He was like, all right. Which was good on him, because I think if he beat him, he would have been like, yeah, you're right. But, yeah, jeez. Yeah. Umpires are now... okay, but yeah, MLB logic. We want to speed up the game, but, let's slow up the game every fucking half inning to check for foreign substances on pitchers.
Yeah, dude. I don't...
And you know what? If you want the game to...
I don't need that shit.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not. This just came into my head. If you want to speed up the game, let the pitchers use the sticky substances. It'll be harder for the players to get on base. Outs will happen quicker. Just saying. That take, or am I in the ballpark with that one?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, just in general, like, just the fact that it was also mid-season is bullshit too. The fact that it was mid-season is such bullshit, because it changes everything. It's like taking pine tar away from the batters. Like I guess it doesn't change everything. I don't want to make it sound like it's do or die or something like that, but it's a pretty major change. And mid-season, really, like right before the All-Star break.
Yeah, this is something that's gonna happen like prior to his season.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever, fucking Manfred.
He's terrible. He's terrible. There were times I used to crap on Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL. It's like, Manfred, you just made Manfred sometimes make Gary Bettman look like, who was the commissioner before Goodell in the NFL? Pete something? I forget. Okay, it's bothering me now. I'm googling it now. NFL commissioner.
Tagliabue.
Before Roger Goodell. Let's see. Yeah, Pete Tagliabue. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he was a great commissioner. So anyway, but speaking of,
I don't recall much before Goodell.
I think my old man was a fan of him. Speaking of my old man, past Sunday was Father's Day. I got him a cameo from Wayne Corbett.
Oh, that's pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty damn cool. Anyway, speaking of Gary Bettman, I know, Zach, I am with basketball the way you are with hockey, so I'll kind of take over a little bit here. My Rangers got a new head coach, Gerard Gallant. That's who, many of us, expected to get. In his opening press conference, he said kids can't grow, prospects or young talents. And, with all the young players the Rangers have, he said, kids can't grow when they're playing on the fourth line. And I feel like that was kind of a partial... I'm kind of reaching here. Maybe that was a partial shot at David Quinn. Because Quinn, there were times, he wouldn't really play the young kids. But, yeah, he said kids got to earn their chances. And, he hopes, give them a lot of minutes. I mean, my uncle was a little wary of this signing. It's you know what? He did well in Florida, but Florida's not exactly a great run organization. And he took a upstart Vegas Golden Knights team in the first season with a team of misfits, took them to the Stanley Cup Final their first year in existence. He got fired from there not because the team was doing bad or anything. It's just he and management didn't see eye to eye. Now, that makes me a little nervous. I hope he sees eye to eye with the Rangers, but you know what? He's a guy that, players like to play for. I hope it works out for the Rangers.
Right. I mean, well, so this comment that he made, is that it could be a shot at the last guy, David Quinn,
I don't think he did that on purpose.
Would you say that's a common thing that kids playing on the... Yeah, well, I'm saying, do you think it's common that kids are playing on the fourth line, the younger guys? Because, maybe he's just one of those people. Because, he just doesn't think that the young guys should be. He thinks that they should at least get some sort of, more playing time. They should get up there with the veterans.
Yeah, Gallant was basically saying he thinks they need more playing time. That way they could grow, and he hopes they earn it. But yeah, it depends on the coach, really, when it comes, youngins playing on the fourth line. For example, John Tortorella's last year with the Rangers, Chris Kreider at this time, Chris Kreider's still, a rising, prospect. And he's playing him on the fourth line, during the playoffs, not letting this kid flourish. And then, they fired Tortorella that offseason. They bring in AV. AV lets... Kreider play more top 6 minutes, and he began to flourish in his third season. So, yeah, kids aren't necessarily going to grow if they're going to be stuck on the fourth line. And the Rangers have a lot of talent, but you know what? I think Gallant can make it work. I mean, he's coached similar players in Florida, and we'll see what happens.
Well, you think they'll get over that hump and finally get to the playoffs at least?
Yes. Chris Drury said in the opening press conference for Gallant, the playoffs are not a mandate, but that is the goal this year. It's no longer just develop. The goal is, okay, go to the playoffs. And you know what, guys? Go to the playoffs and suck, okay? I'm saying this to the Rangers. Not that they're watching this, but go to the playoffs, suck, get your ass kicked, and grow from that. And then, use that to make you stronger. Well, obviously you don't suck. Be competitive. But you know what? If you don't, they're probably not going to make it past the first round. But you know what? It's good experience for them. But
You're
anyway,
overcomplicating that there.
I usually tend
What's
to be
going on in the
nice.
playoffs, though, Jack?
Oh God, if the Isles win on Friday, kill me. Our other co-host, Big Red Matt, huge Islanders fan. He's one of 7 Islander fans I don't hate. And he's definitely listening to this, like, enjoying the taste of my salt. Probably listening to this, rubbing his nipples like, yes, be angry at us. Be angry at us.
Dude,
Oh, God.
he's been actually at the games. So like, respect to him. He's going to the.
Yeah, that's a long drive.
Are they in Nassau Coliseum? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the Islanders
Yeah.
forced...
Well, hey, dude. I mean, that's commitment, and
This is the final year. All right, we had a little pause right there because my laptop died. I mean, my fault for that. I mean, usually when my laptop says, you're running low on battery, I still have like a half hour, 45 minutes left. But no, this thing gave me no freaking warning. It was like, well, actually, it did give me a warning, but only like maybe 5 seconds or so of warning. It was like, okay, your battery's low. I'm just like, oh, okay. And then, but thankfully, it still recorded OBS still recorded everything.
you're just a fucking amateur, Lonnie. That's all it comes down to, bro.
Yeah, we got sucked now, so we don't suck later. But anyway, as we were saying, Matt went out to Nassau Coliseum, and yeah, that's the final year of this building. Last night, the Isles, overcame a 2-goal deficit. Won in overtime after a terrible turnover from Blake Coleman. The fans celebrated by throwing beer cans onto the ice. I mean,
Oh, that's lovely.
yeah, well, the players didn't seem to mind, but it's like, yeah, do you want one of your guys it's not so much, they'll get hit in the head with, like, a full drink. It's like, oh, well, that could still be bad, too. But, like, God forbid one of these guys steps on it and ends up freaking tearing an Achilles or something.
Dude, if it was in Philly, the national media would be all over it. Like, even ESPN would be talking about it right now.
The national media
at night, days later.
The national media is talking about it. They're just putting more of a positive spin on it because, it's not Philadelphia. If it was Philadelphia, they'd never shut the hell up about it. But yeah.
Dude, it's fucking ridiculous.
But yeah, Game 7 is tomorrow. Tampa Bay, please, for the love of God. I want to watch this. The only way I want to watch the Stanley Cup and be emotionally invested in it is if the Rangers are in it. Not if one of their rivals is in it. Okay? Tampa, please get the job done. But after last night, I'm fully convinced that the Islanders will win that and, get the job done in the final, especially if the Habs win tonight against Vegas. And speaking of the Habs, we were looking at the North Division saying, okay, once they play a team that's not in the North, they're going to get exposed for, like, the frauds they were. We were all saying it was going to be the Leafs. The Leafs choke to the Habs. The Habs upset the Jets. Now, the Habs are 1 game away from beating Vegas. Jeez. It would be...
Would you rather...
Would I rather what?
I was gonna say, would you rather root? Say let's hypothetically, let's make Matt climax right now, and let's hypothetically say the Islanders win. Now you are forced to root against them, because I know how you work.
Yeah.
Who would you rather root for, the Knights or the Canadians?
The Knights. I picked I picked the Knights to win it all at the beginning of the playoffs. 2,
Right.
I mean, I still think on paper Vegas is a better matchup, but geez, the Habs are very similar to the Islanders in the sense that they're pesky. They just don't go away. But, where I think the Islanders would have an advantage in that series is that, they have an elite center in Matthew Barzal, whereas, the Habs have, like, good centers, but, nowhere near as good as Barzal's, essentially. But yeah, I'm way more surprised by the Habs than I am with the Islanders, because the Islanders I've seen how good they are, how sound they are all around. Like I said, they can make a lot of mistakes against you. You can't make a mistake against them. You have to play perfect hockey. But yeah, the Islanders were a sleeper pick to me. So yeah, that's why I'm fully convinced. Like, oh God, here it comes. Here it comes.
You know it's gonna happen.
Probably.
You know
Fun
Matt's
up tomorrow
gonna.
night.
We absolutely need to have. Well, when are we posting this? Are we gonna post this the
Yeah.
day of? Because then it would just
No.
be tonight.
No,
But
we're
like,
posting this. I'm posting this.
what-
I'm posting this tomorrow morning, June 25th. So.
Okay. Well, either way. That's the funny thing about recording. We're not doing this live. But anyway, what I'm getting at is
Yeah,
we
so
need to
by
have
the
Matt
time
on
people
if the
listening-
Islanders win. Matt, if you're listening to this, we need to have you on. I want to just hear you guys talk shit to each other. Honestly, that's all. Because I know Jack really doesn't have any say if the Islanders win, but I know he's going to be pissed off, and you're going to be ecstatic, and it's going to be great to listen to.
Oh God. Yeah. By the time people listen to this, assuming they listen tomorrow, we'll already know if Vegas and Montreal go to a Game 7 or if Montreal's moving on. But speaking of hockey, once we do have an official matchup set, on Monday I'm going to record with one of my former editors, Frank Curto, formerly of Elite Sports New York and now writing for Empire Sports Media. Him and I will have like a little 20-minute chit chat for episode 3 of The Cutting Edge with JackKnife. We're going to discuss the matchup for the Stanley Cup Finals, give our predictions, discuss how we got to this point, and go from there. That's some additional content, and we got even more additional content for any racing fans out there. T-Woz, again, the face you might remember from the Super Bowl party, he is going to Pocono this week to watch the NASCAR races, and he's going to be on site. He's going to record some footage there, and he's going to start his own little mini-series called Splash and Go with Tommy Joe, and we hope you turn into that.
Oh.
Yeah, you like that name, don't you, Zach?
Oh, I'm about it. Let's get another one in. I have to do another shot of Zach Danielz. I tried doing one recently, and my computer crashed as well. So we're all just fucking amateurs here.
Yeah, we're all fucking amateurs. But anyway, Zach, any other additional thoughts you'd like to add?
No, honestly, I think we covered everything that I wanted to talk about recently. And yeah, as for a shot of Zach Danielz, I plan on doing one very soon. And I'm going to go over the top 10 matchups in the NFL for the 2021 season. I think there's one that everyone knows is going to be on there. But I have some surprises in there. So that'll be another individual episode that'll be coming out soon as well.
All right. Good to hear. We got lots of content coming. My final thoughts, we'll record again sometime next week. I don't know who's going to be with us, but, I'm just going to say this because even though Tampa is stacked and they're going to be playing in Tampa Bay, I'm just going to say this in case the Islanders do win, which they probably are because fuck my life. I blame Capitals management, Leafs management, and Peter Chiarelli for the Islanders' success. Not to take away from anything they've done, but geez, they helped create a perfect storm for them. So anyway, thank you very much for listening. If you made it this far, please be sure to follow us on all our social medias, on Twitter and Instagram at FUNTS Podcast, and on Facebook at Fat Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. This is JackKnife alongside the Zach Danielz. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Peace.